I'm so pleased to be introducing the first and the only duet act for this day, Dr. William van der Hoff, the NIHR Clinical Research Network Chief Executive, who began his particular role in March 2020. And William, I don't think many people around the world will forget that month. Now, what an incredible 18 months. But on a personal note, I think William holds patient engagement in its highest regard. And that's why he's joined by Yasmin Baker today. And Yasmin, I mean, I must admit, when I read your CV, I thought, wow, how incredibly amazing. So Yasmin is part of the Young Persons Advisory Group, Generation R, and really values patient engagement to help researchers make clinical trials more effective and safe for patients. So please welcome me in welcoming William and Yasmin this morning.
Thank you, Divya. Lovely introduction. And besides the work you did on cakes and baking, you did quite a lot else for vaccines and for life sciences and for the COVID research in the UK. So thank you. Look, I also want to welcome you in person, face to face. It's really lovely to meet, and we've missed that human interaction. And I'm truly enjoying the face-to-face meetings and conferences we've had. Looking back over the last 18 months, COVID, of course, has dominated our agenda. It's dominated our lives and our research. And although the studies continue, our focus now is on rebuilding our non-COVID research throughout the UK. Whilst proud of our COVID work, truly proud of our COVID work, I absolutely acknowledge the severe impact that the pandemic has had, particularly on commercial research, and how important our recovery together is. Today's theme, Future Ready Together, is our opportunity to look forward. We must learn from the pandemic and build on the innovations and collaborations we've fostered to create an even stronger health research environment so we can bring rapid patient benefits for all conditions. Divya has alluded to the patient-centered focus that NIHR has, and I personally have had coming from as a pediatrician and working with young people to improve research. And so I'm really pleased to invite Yasmin to speak to you now to give her perspective of the importance of research and the contribution of the life sciences industry to patients and their health. And then I'll come back to finish my piece. Yasmin.
Educate, innovate, collaborate, empower, change, and inspire. This is what research means to me. My name is Yasmin Baker, and my journey to becoming a young research champion started at the age of 12. In my early years of secondary school, I developed various health issues, including severe joint pain and back pain, to the point where I couldn't even partake in my musical or sporting hobbies. My quality of life had been severely reduced. I was referred to Alder Hey Children's Hospital and became a regular patient, having a multidisciplinary care team of myriad specialties, from rheumatology to orthopedics to physiotherapy to occupational therapy and more. I had seen it all. My first-hand patient experience made me appreciate the life-changing impact doctors can have on a patient's quality of life, which sparked my initial interest in the medical field. I was inspired by the staff's dedication to my care and treatment, so I wanted to give back and help at the same hospital. At the age of 16, I started volunteering at Alder Hey Children's Hospital, where I came across Generation R Young Persons Advisory Group. I knew Alder Hey was one of the leading research hospitals involved in clinical trials, especially within the Innovation Hub. However, I wanted to learn more about how I can actively get involved in research affecting young people like me. So I joined Generation R. Generation R is funded by NIHR to encourage patient participation and partnership in pediatric clinical research. As a Generation R member, I work with researchers and comment on their ideas to improve the design and delivery of their clinical research to ensure it's relevant to young people and their families. Many of the researchers who I worked with were from the life science industry and came to us with their innovative, creative, insightful ideas. This is when I realized that it's not only doctors who can have an impact on a patient's life. It's all of you here, the life science industry, from pharmaceuticals to medtech. You all massively improve patients' quality of life as you provide the most effective diagnostics and treatments to support young patients like me. Now, as a second-year medical student at Imperial College London, undertaking my professional training, I'm continuing to actively promote this value of young patient engagement within my work and to others here today, as I know patients are passionate about research and supporting the life science industry because best healthcare is driven by patient involvement. Since last year, though, as William said, we've all had to make a drastic shift to focus on the COVID-19 pandemic, which has taken a toll on the life science industry and non-COVID clinical research. I've personally seen this as one of the first student vaccinators to join the COVID-19 vaccination program in December 2020, and also through my work in Generation R, where more researchers came to us with COVID-19 focused projects. However, the COVID-19 recovery has clearly showcased how resilient the research field is, and that engaging patients in research leads to better outcomes for individuals and the NHS. With the COVID-19 situation being more stable now, our aim is to rebalance our focus as part of the NIHR's effort to support the life science industry so you can continue to thrive because you are the future for patient care. To summarize my part of the talk, I'd like to reflect on the first 6 words that started my speech. To me, research means to educate, whereby patients and researchers work in partnership to learn about clinical research and its impact on healthcare. Research means to innovate, whereby patients can respond to researchers with their creative suggestions and recommendations. Research means to collaborate, whereby patients and research collaborate to improve the delivery of clinical research. Research means to empower, whereby researchers give all patients a voice to offer their insightful perspectives, enabling them to actively get involved in issues that truly matter to them and their community. This creates life-enhancing experiences and, without a doubt, can increase their confidence, self-esteem, and belief that their views matter. Research, to me, means change, where you change patients' quality of life by directly listening to their issues and, through co-production, help to deliver studies of vital medicines that improve their health. And finally, research means to inspire, where you all inspire the world to look up to the life science industry for the work you do by engaging patients of all ages and making them realize that they have a voice, are being heard, and that they have the power to make a difference to the future of the life science industry. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Yasmin, for sharing your experiences and inspiring us with your vision. Hard act to follow, isn't it? But patient-centered research and ensuring that study participants represent the diversity of the UK population are real tenets of the government's Future of UK Clinical Research Delivery Plan, as well as being a key recommendation in the ABPI's recent report, annual report on UK clinical research. At the NIHR, services such as the patient engagement in clinical development, and indeed groups such as Generation R, can help to facilitate relationships and collaborations between life sciences industry and patients. Our Underserved Communities programme will build on the Include framework, a project in NIHR to look at making sure research is truly inclusive and identify interventions to improve diversity and inclusion across the whole research system and at every step along that pathway. Matching a patient-centred approach with our integration across the entire NHS and care makes the UK a unique place for research delivery. We leveraged the breadth and scale of the NHS during COVID, for instance, to rapidly deliver trials such as Recovery, which has recruited more than 41,000 people, or the phase 3 COVID vaccine trials, for which we set up over 100 new delivery hubs. The geographic coverage of our national network is a true asset which we will use to recover our non-COVID research. In my previous role, I worked with patients and the CQC, Care Quality Commission, to incorporate research into their well-led framework of trusts. And there is more that we can do and are doing in this space, working with other regulators and with NHS England as vital partners in the UK Recovery, Resilience and Growth Programme to embed research more deeply throughout the health and care system. We can do this by streamlining how we work and innovating clinical research delivery, for example, with decentralized trials, using data to determine and optimize studies, or delivering the late phase clinical studies at our national patient recruitment centers. We also need to take research towards patients rather than asking them to come to us. To date, most research has been delivered in hospitals, yet 90% of clinical activity, clinical contacts in the NHS are in primary care. We will continue to build much more research capacity in hospitals, but we've now developed a new strategy matched with significant additional funding to underpin our work with partners and deliver a way of developing research in primary care and the community. The restructure of the NHS next year, forming new integrated care systems, will inevitably bring some short-term disruption, but also very exciting opportunities. Our hope is that research will be incorporated in the ICS framework, and we're actively working with emerging ICS bodies to address their research priorities and are seeking ways to ensure sufficient study delivery across regions and innovation in that. The NIHR is well placed to help you to maximize these opportunities, working with partners such as ABPI and NHS England. And collectively, we can rebuild and revitalize the UK as a global leader in commercial research delivery. Within the CRN, we're working to refresh and modernize our research delivery model, to improve the consistency of our work across the regions, to embrace data and digital in order to optimize study planning, placement, and performance, and to strengthen, importantly, the collaborative relationships we have and need to have with our R&D leadership. We will be improving our services together with our unparalleled insight, expertise, and geographic reach so that we can help you deliver your research more efficiently and to time and target. As the UK healthcare and research system recovers and grows, I ask you to consider how you can contribute to this, to fully realize the opportunities of our integrated system, to ensure patients are truly at the center of what you do, and to work with us to build an exciting future for UK clinical research. Thank you.